And thank you once again to the worldwide resources of Tim Newton Today, better known to some as TNT. We bring you Grumpy Old Men with Steve Rosse.
Howdy.
And
Tim Newton. After a year, I'm learning to share.
So we're at the Aquella Golf Course again.
We are at the Aquella again. It's just very comfortable here.
We've had a nice meal.
Yeah, the food's good here. Yeah,
It is very good and not
it
expensive.
is not as expensive as it was 2 years ago, the first time I came here, and I didn't come back until you convinced me to come back, and I wish I had, because at these prices, it's very good food. Yeah.
And we're not the only ones here today.
No. There's people actually playing golf here.
Yes.
Yeah, which I know nothing about, but we can see them through the windows. There's a competition of some kind.
Apparently there's 95 people in this particular something competition.
Yeah, but it's not a crowd. You put those 95 people on a golf course, it doesn't look crowded.
But it looks like there's people at every hole. I'm
That's
not sure
what
what
she
that
said.
means. Yes.
Well, there's a big silver trophy out front, and it looked like, something worth fighting for. So they're out there swinging away, hacking away.
It looks like the America's Cup. It's a very ornate piece of
big silver thing. Yeah.
probably plastic, but okay. Good luck to all the players in today's competition, and
At the Aquella Golf Country Club and Resort. What's the full name? The Aquella Country Club and Golf Resort.
So may the
and
wind be
villas.
at your back and all your traffic lights be green, or what they say. So we got a message, Steve.
Okay, someone knows we're alive.
Firstly, I got, I don't know, just one message from somebody who said, is Steve okay? He didn't post on his channel this week.
Oh, well,
So we're going to get these questions for the next couple of
I'm flattered
months.
somebody noticed. Yeah, no, I'm taking a hiatus. Postcards from Turtle Beach. I have done exactly 2 years. May 12th was my second anniversary in Thailand, this trip. And I thought, I had launched that channel intending to do a year. I thought if I get 52 episodes out of it, I'll be happy. I got 104. And I think I've probably said everything I need to say on that channel about Steve Rosse.
Just think of the residuals.
Well, I don't know if there are such. I think whatever a little bit of snack money was to be made off it was made. But I just think it's time to step back and not be all the time thinking about what am I going to say this Friday.
Leave it to the professionals.
Yes, exactly. Leave it to the professionals.
Sure.
And and so for a week we haven't had a postcard from Turtle Beach. And my life has continued to truck along, stumble along, and I hope yours has too.
There will be, I don't know, in 3 million years, there will be this alien race arriving on the planet Earth. They're probably already on their way.
They walk among us.
And they'll stumble on some sort of random computer and just hammer a few keys, and this face will pop up from Turtle Beach.
Yeah.
And they'll go, what strange people they were.
No, they will recognize a kindred spirit in me. The space
fellow alien.
aliens, yes, the space aliens who will never feel quite adjusted to this will find a kindred spirit in me. And I will take a break from Grumpy Old Men. In July and August, my mother's coming to visit, and I want to focus on my mother. So I will take a break from this venue for July and August, but come back certainly if you're still doing this. Come back in September, and perhaps
I'll probably find somebody better.
You probably will.
Yeah.
I think I have proven that there's an audience for this, and now somebody better will think it is worth their time to come and join you in this venue. If you're out there and you want to join him, give him a holler.
You're going to have to drive to Thai Mueang Beach each week.
You have to own a ton of shirts, man. You have to. That is the only requirement, really. You have to have a closet full of luau shirts.
But we've got another, I think, 6 episodes before you have a break.
Yeah.
So we've got plenty more to say.
Yeah.
Including the answer to this question from JALP.
Jalp.
It could be. Swaddy Krap Kun Tim and Kun Steve. So
What day?
could be Thai. Thank you for your weekly grumpy old men. How did you experience the Eurovision Song Contest competition? We're still talking about it. Do you get similar culture music awards in Thailand, or better to say in Southeast or Far East Asia? I can answer that last one first. There's nothing like Eurovision here in Asia, although they do it so well because Asians love making music. The South Koreans would win it every year.
Yeah, well, we know this correspondent is not Thai. Thai would not have asked that question, right? I think probably there's nothing anywhere in the world as big as Eurovision. I think that format, the Major Beau's Amateur Hour, the variety show format with unknown acts, is probably profitable enough that it is done everywhere to some extent. But nothing that has the audience, the reach, the scope, the history of star making that Eurovision has.
Well, now, it's not so well known for the star making, but it is big and spectacular. I love it. Now, you came last week to my house on a Sunday night at, well, you know, a lot of misgivings from my point of view, asking Stephen to my house, but...
I was going to say thank you for the invitation, but now, no, screw you.
But you came along as a Eurovision virgin, but you left as a, or whatever the opposite of that is.
Disappointed with my first time, yeah.
So what were your impressions? You'd never seen Eurovision before, and we turned the TV on and you went,
Yeah, well, there was, again, everybody standing to striving to stand out from the crowd. And so they're going to extremes of dress, extremes of behavior, extremes in music. It's a very crowded field. There's how many countries in Europe?
37 entries.
Yeah, 37 entrants, and you're trying to stand out, to separate yourself, doing the same song over and over. So you've got to be extreme. You've got to be wild and crazy and out there. And some of that appealed to me. The woman from Armenia,
they were really bright.
Yeah, they brought an amazing energy,
and
and they were dressed in the traditional, what I assume is traditional Armenian garb, but the song was very modern. It seemed to me very modern, and I liked that. Some of the acts were too extreme for my personal taste, but I understood where they were coming from. As a technician, my degree is in technical theater, and as a technician, watching the technical attributes of the show was absolutely amazing. What they did on that stage and what they do, apparently, it's every year, right?
Yeah.
Is it every year? Yeah.
Yeah.
What the
By the way,
techies did was
why
just
don't you
astounding.
Collect your thoughts. Steve looks like he's jammed into the corner there.
I am jammed
because
into
he's
the corner.
jammed into the corner.
Yeah.
He's got nowhere to go.
They've moved the furniture on us. My back is literally against this piece of furniture, and my sternum is compressed. I cannot take a deep breath. But I'm doing this for you, audience. I'm doing it for you. I'm making this sacrifice for you. And I'm able to breathe because I have been tobacco-free since May 1st.
Oh, good heavens.
I know, right? 2 weeks, right? That's 2 weeks.
So half of Eurovision is the singing and the stuff, and then the other half is the voting, which we sort of, scrolled through. And what did you think about the winner?
I thought having the scroll feature made it absolutely palatable. I was thinking I might have to make an excuse and leave, but the fact that we could scroll through and the acts that were too extreme or we weren't interested in, we were able to scroll through those. And I thought that little button on the clicker made it all very, very easy.
I was very polite though. I said, is it okay to scroll?
Yes,
everybody?
He did. It was his house. He could have simply carte blanche done what he wanted, but he did ask permission.
And points out of 10 for the catering?
Excuse me, yes, the food was very good. We had Asian food and Western food, and both were very good. And I was surprised to learn you can cook.
Only one thing.
Yeah, well,
Bolognese.
you did that very well. I was raised by my mother most of the time without a man in the house. So I cook, I clean, I can sew a button on a shirt. I can do all of those homey domestic things.
Well, you're welcome to come around every morning about 7.
I can also say no. But yeah, I grew up, I was expected to be able to do all of those things, and I can. Yeah.
Before we get to your list, I've got just apropos of absolutely nothing. I stumbled on an article this week which has the most popular names in the world. No, this would be in the US. The most popular
That's
names
the world.
in the US for 2023. Before I get to the top 10 for boys and girls, here are the top 5 fastest rising boys and girls names. So these are the ones that are sort of, they were 150 last year, but they come up to like 90 this year or something. We'll get to the top 10 in just a moment. There's no Steve and Tim in there, by the way.
Yeah, well, we're dinosaurs.
But these are the most, I'll go through the girls first. The fastest rising girls' names. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Kaylee. But
Kaylee?
it's spelled weirdly.
Kaeli.
That's spelling? Kaylee, I know, is a common name. Kaylee Cuoco is a very popular actress in the
That's
United States.
Caley or something.
Yeah, Kaylee or something. Yeah, but
Okay.
Okay, Kaylee. Okay. Yeah.
Try and say the second one.
Elite cell. Sounds biblical. Maybe it's
Who
out
is
of the
calling
Bible.
their child elite
Yeah,
cell?
putting a Z in anybody's name, I think is just cruel and unusual.
Unless you're Zane.
Okay.
Would that be okay? Number 3.
Emryn. Emryn. Emryn.
These are the
Where-
names that are going.
Where did you get that list?
This is a fair income list. Fair income means real, by the way. Number 4, Adhara,
I have never heard that as a name.
and number 5,
Azari.
another Z in the
I've
name.
never heard that as a name.
And 1, 2, 3 of those names all start with an A.
Yeah, these sound Middle Eastern to me.
Yeah, bit, isn't it? But these are
Yeah.
the top name selections in the US for 2023. These are the ones that have risen the fastest. We get to the boys' names. Isael, Z seems to be popular.
Yeah.
Chosen
Chosen.
with a Z.
Chozen. Chosen.
Z.
Cousin?
Z. Eden or Iden, Eiden. I would have thought that Eden would have been a girl's name.
Now Aiden for the last 10 years or so has been a very popular boy's name in the
It's
United States. Ayden.
Yeah.
Aiden. Yeah, I don't know what this list, I'm not trusting this list.
Number 4
Cassian.
and number 5
Chiron.
with an E. I've worked with a Chiron, which is putting titling on TV for years, but there you go. Now, this is the actual top list. This is the number 1. Don't shake your phone, Tim, because it says... So these are you can do the girls' names, I'll do the men's. These are we start at number 10. The top 10 girls' names.
I
for this
was
year.
not. So those previous names were fast
fastest
rising.
rising.
No wonder I've never heard of them. These are much more common. Okay, I'm familiar with these names. Okay.
But again, some of these are...
Do you want me to read them? Shall we just read them all in a list?
Yeah, you can.
Boys' names.
You can do You can do
Oh,
the
we're
girls.
gonna go. Okay.
10 to 1.
10 to 1.
Off
All
you
right,
go.
starting at 10. Luna, which is a wonderful movie and novel, crime movie and novel from the 80s. Luna, Diva, Maya, I forget.
Are you going
It's
to do a
series.
story about every
No,
one of these?
I could.
God,
I
we're going to
could.
be here all day.
Number 9 is Evelyn or Evelyn, depending on whether it's a boy or a girl, isn't it? Evelyn is the male. Evelyn Waugh is the author.
That's who I was thinking of.
W-A-U-G-H. Evelyn.
Yes.
I think for men it's Evelyn. For girls it's Evelyn. Ava, A-V-A, married
Older
to Frank
name?
Sinatra. Ava
Gardner.
Number 7, Isabella.
Ava Gardner's also famous, if you come from Melbourne, because when they were filming Neville Shute novel
On the Beach.
On the Beach,
A town called Alice.
they were filming it in Melbourne,
Yeah.
and Ava
Oh,
Gardner,
right, she's in it.
she famously said she couldn't have thought of a better place to film the end of a movie about the end of the world.
bitch.
Something like yes.
Yeah.
And in number 7.
Frank Brokerhart. Number 7, well, Isabella. We did that. The queen who paid to discover America. Number 6, Mia. Now that's interesting. In Thai, Mia means wife. We have a new restaurant called Mia in Thai Mueang. Number 5, Sophia. Sophia Loren.
Very old names.
Some of them are classics, yeah. And number 4, Amelia, my dear friend Amy, who was going to come visit with my mother. Amelia. Number 3,
Not the big 3.
Charlotte, famous for her web. What is the last line in the first chapter of Charlotte's Web? Avery grabbed his gun and knife and ran to catch the school bus.
Why do you know that?
Because I have children who went to school when people were shooting up schools. And this was a conversation. Do we take Charlotte's Web out of the school library? Because the last line in the first chapter is Avery grabbed his gun and knife and ran to catch the school bus.
Okay.
So that was a conversation. You don't expect such a line in a story about a pig, but there it is. Number 2 is Emma, another classic. And number 1, really, Olivia. Okay, I would not have thought that.
These
Olivia.
are the top 10 names in the US last year. We get to the men. Number 10, William. So still a lot of Bills around.
There's a prince of that name.
Number 9, Lucas. Number 8, Henry.
Ew.
Number 7, Theodore. Fancy naming your child Theodore. Ted.
Ted.
I
He'd go
suppose.
through life as Ted.
Yeah.
He'd
Number
give talks.
6. I can only think of one other person I know with this name. Mateo. Mateo.
Well, you got me beat by one. I don't remember ever being a Mateo.
The name of the son of Andrea Bocelli. His son is called Matteo, and he's also a very good singer. Good genes.
There you go. See, this is a classy guy right here. He knows all the classy stuff.
Number 5, Elijah, which is very biblical.
Yeah.
Number 4, I think this has been in the top 10 for yonks, James.
Yeah, kind of phoning it in, Mom and Dad.
Number 3, a sort of a male version of the number 1 female
Yeah,
name.
how about that?
Oliver.
Oliver.
They'd end up as Ollie.
Not my favorite musical, but okay.
What didn't you like about Oliver?
I cannot right now remember a single song. From
Oh,
Oliver.
come on.
No.
Consider yourself.
Oh, all right. There you go. Yeah.
As long as she needs me.
That I don't know. But that's Fagin's song, isn't it? Consider
will
yourself
buy this
one of us.
wonderful morning. Who
Oh.
will buy?
Okay, okay, I stand corrected. Yeah. Still not my favorite music.
Oh, I've got to pick a pocket or two. Da 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 da
Yeah.
da da da. You got to pick a pocket or two.
Never went to school this guy.
Number 2 is we did Oliver as a musical.
Oh, okay.
Number
a
2,
boys' school, sure.
Almost. Also biblical. Noah.
Noah. All
How do
right.
you shorten Noah? What's a nickname? Hey, No. How are you, No?
Yeah, I don't know. I've got a friend named Noah. I'll ask him. What's the nickname?
Number 1, roll the drums. The most popular boy's name in the United States last year was Liam. Lee. If you're in Australia, all these would be shortened. There's no way. They even found a way to... no, they didn't. What did they call me? Skip.
Skip.
Go figure.
Skippy. Now, we have not discussed the winner of the Eurovision.
Oh, the winner. And drum roll. We already know.
Spoiler alert.
Switzerland.
Yes, Switzerland. A very, very interesting young man from Switzerland won. And I thought the stagecraft, his act was interesting. He's a born performer, and I think he's only about 3 feet tall. But everything about it was modern and trendy and interesting and gender neutral. But he had a piece of tech. He had this big disc that he was riding on that was just magic. I thought that was stagehand magic. and it took about 20 stagehands to make that thing work. And I thought for stagecraft, boy, that was the killer piece of equipment.
He was riding it.
Yeah,
when
he was like surfing this thing and singing.
Yeah.
Didn't miss a note.
And they sing live.
He's a gifted performer. Whether or not he deserved to win out of 30-something contestants, yeah, I couldn't say that he was definitively the best act.
He's better than the Australians.
But I never saw the Australians.
No, they got knocked out in the semis.
Yeah, they never made it to the finals. But I thought the stagecraft was great. That's what I thought of the winner. Yeah.
So I saw him do the same song. It was called The Code or something. I saw him on YouTube doing it in front of an orchestra.
I broke the code.
I broke the code.
I broke the code. Yeah.
And he was doing it in front of an orchestra in 4-inch high heels and a nice long dress. So there you go. A lot of people go, yeah, that's Eurovision.
Yeah. It was a very gender neutral event, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. And everybody seemed to be having a great time. They kept going backstage to this sort of holding pen where the performers and their posses were sitting, and there was a lot of enthusiasm that didn't look faked. A lot of times when you go to the green room in a show like the Oscars, if they show people in the audience in the Oscars, and they're always being sort of falsely enthusiastic for the other performers. They all seemed to be really having a good time there. They were all happy to be there. I felt bad for like Estonia. They got 2 votes, but they seemed happy to be there and happy to be included and to be representing Estonia. So I thought the whole thing had a very good vibe. I was very happy to be introduced to it.
The bottom line, Steve, is if you, and this is a big if you were to be invited back next year, would you come?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I'm a bit desperate for friends, really.
I know, you are. Well, it's Turtle Beach. I keep telling people this. And we talked today, Rosse is leaving. Not everybody is suited for Turtle Beach. You've got to be able to make your own entertainment. You've got to be able to be your own friend, because there's not a lot of people there that you can invite over for a barbecue. There's just not that many people there, and most of the guys who've been there a while stay in their own house. So you need to Anyway, that's what
anyway, so that's me. That's all my comments and questions. And
all right,
over to you, to Steve's book from Norel, his diary.
This is
take a big deep breath.
The table will rise up if I do. Yes. This is probably one of the most useful gifts I've ever received.
Well done.
Though I still use Ray's pink backpack every single morning, and I wear one of my uncredited Fortescue Mining Group hats every single day out on the beach. And I have no idea who gave them to me. Somebody left 2 hats,
Mr. Fortescue.
Yeah, 2 brand new Fortescue Mining Group hats on my front doorstep, and I wear that every single day. So there's some of these, and the broccoli Brian left me is all finished, Brian. So if you want to bring me more, I've got some. We'll got
quite a lot there.
Yeah, and we'll start with Steve Got It Wrong, because that is our most popular segment. Steve Got It Wrong.
That's the only reason people watch.
Yeah,
so they can try and trip you up.
They see Steve in a mea culpa. Thailand is very much in the northern hemisphere. There used to be a restaurant on Phuket called Latitude 8, and I thought that was 8 degrees south. I thought it meant 8 degrees south of the equator, so I thought we were, at least Phuket and South Thailand were below the equator.
Did you?
Yes! That's why I said last week, the sun, he never does, the sun traverses the sky north of my home and heats up the northern wall in the afternoon, and I said because we're in the southern hemisphere. Click. And no, I was reminded by 38 people that we are very much in the northern.
Well, if I was listening, I would have mentioned that, but you're right. I don't.
I don't know that very much. By a few degrees, I think it's 8 degrees. Thus, the restaurant Latitude 8. That's latitude's this way, right? And longitude's this way.
Hey Siri, what latitude is Phuket in Thailand?
This is like voting for Eurovision. 8, come on 8, come on 8.
7.8 latitude. So
7.8.
they
There
could
we
have
go.
called it latitude 7.8. It's not quite as catchy as latitude 8.
Yeah, latitude 8. Well, before that it was Jimmy's Lighthouse, and before that it was Pan's Lighthouse. And,
Do you want to know the
on
longitude?
Chilong Bay.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
All right.
Yeah, I got 86th from there. Because I said, I published an article that made fun of the Chilong Bay Yachties. And the Chilong Bay Yachties hung out at this restaurant, Latitude 8, which was called Attitude 8, A-T-E, Attitude 8, because the Yachties were so full of themselves. So I wrote a little article just making fun of them, and I was told the next time I went to Attitude 8 that I was no longer welcome there. And so, and at the King's Cup Regatta.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh, people, because I got comped every year into the King's Cup Regatta. I was the only working journalist on Phuket. And so I always got a freebie. I got a room at the yacht club, and I got a big bag full of gack and meals and parties and stuff. And the local yachties were very jealous because they never got invited to anything. They had to sit outside the event. So yeah, I was not popular at that.
Just to put it on that long list of places you're not welcome at.
Yeah, one more. I suppose I could go there now. I don't think anybody would be there from 1988 to remember Steve Ross got 86 from this place. So I've got some questions that I want to start with for the Brain Trust.
I'll try and listen this week. I'll
All right.
concentrate.
Why don't they sell top sheets in Thailand? You go to buy sheets, you get a fitted sheet for the mattress, and you get 2 pillowcases, and that's it. And the same store will sell comforters and duvets and blankets. Nobody sells a simple flat top sheet. Am I wrong? You buy everything on Lazada. What do you know?
Okay. I run a number of establishments.
You do.
Where we have
houses of ill repute.
Have to make the beds for the guests, and we have a top sheet. Mm-hmm. And I went to the store and said, I need a fitted bottom sheet. They're all king size beds. I need a top sheet. I need duvet cover. I need a duvet. We used to call them doonas in Australia. I don't know why the duvets here. Anyway, there you go. And so yeah, we've always bought top sheets.
But you go to that hotel supply place in Phuket, the industrial for the business place. Yeah. No, I'm talking the Chamlong store, the Duan Jai store, the super cheap,
well, that's a good
local
point.
Places. Yeah, they don't sell top sheets.
So because they have those comforters.
Yeah.
And they throw those in the washing machine every week, I suppose.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't know, but I have tried to buy a top sheet here around Turtle Beach, and it is impossible.
We'll give you the second-hand ones after they've been.
Thank you, sir.
We've got a few rips in them and
thank you, sir.
Stains.
You're way too kind to me, sir. I don't deserve it.
Those stains we can't remove. Oh, it's okay. We'll give that one to Steve.
I'm gonna black out from lack of oxygen here. My lungs are compressed by this. Look at this.
I can move in and out. I'll move for you.
Yeah. What is with the flashing lights on young men's motorcycles these days? Have you seen this?
Well, the problem
it looks like a cop behind you in the rearview mirror, and it's some teenager on a little Honda Click. And they put these flashing lights on now.
I have the opposite problem, where I usually complain that they don't tend to use
turn on the headlights.
Don't use their indicators or the headlights or anything.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this new one, but it's like the trucks, the delivery trucks that drive around with the 2 bits of fabric dangling off the back doors. That's another thing that's become popular.
Fabric off the back door.
It's like a horse's tail. They're matching colours. They on the handles they tie a bit of fabric. Every single delivery truck you see these days.
Is that so you can open the door without climbing up?
I'm thinking maybe there is a practical
if it's
reason
tied to
for
the
it.
handles, I would
But
guess.
I sort of suspect it might just be a fad,
For show?
a bit like
Over to you, Brain Trust.
the kids with the flashing lights. Are they trying to scare you into thinking that they're police?
I don't know. I think they're just, it's a trend or a fad, or it may be something that's been around for 20 years.
Can you
and
buy them on
Steve just
Lazada?
I don't know. But they're in blue and red. They're emergency vehicle colors, and they're just teenagers on motorcycles with these flashing lights. Or maybe Steve's hallucinating. Maybe you've never seen this. Let me know.
Well, I haven't, but over to you.
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that.
Do people still use this to mean call me? Because we don't hold a handset anymore that's got two pieces, right? Now it's this. Does this mean call me now?
I'm more interested to know why on earth you're asking that question.
Yeah, who's going to call you? Nobody's going to call you. But I don't know. It's because I was thinking about, there was an old news story, and this is stuck in my head forever, that the Japanese had experimented with putting a speaker under the skin of the thumb and a microphone under the finger.
No.
Yeah, so that people could talk like this, and you wouldn't have to carry, when mobile phones were brand new and they came in a suitcase. You remember that? I was living in New York, so it was a long time ago. But yeah, there was some kind of news thing about the Japanese were experimenting with this being a real phone. And that was in my head the other day, and I thought, does this still mean call me? You see this in movies all the time, right? To like a rom-com and a romantic comedy.
So if they've got the microphone in here and they've got the speaker in there, where does the battery go?
I don't know. Where do all the works go?
And how do you change it?
Maybe it's a phone.
Ouch.
Maybe the phone is in, because again, this was something I would have seen in the Post, the New York Post in 1989. I don't know. But perhaps the works were in a wristwatch, and it was wireless technology in I don't know. But at any rate,
you could do it on your watch with a speaker and a microphone. Hello, can you hear me?
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy.
And you can do that with your iWatch. Is it called an iWatch?
Not my iWatch. Yeah, I haven't worn a watch for 2 years. I'm retired.
I haven't worn a watch for 65 years. My mother bought me a watch when I was, 11 or 12. And I remember driving home from school. I was so proud. And it was a hot day and we had the window wound down. I put my hand on the window and the watch went flying off. And
that's why we can't have nice things.
I never wore a watch again.
You're careless. Well, I used to wear a watch, even though I sat in front of a monitor for 8 hours a day with the time and date on the monitor. I still wore a watch. My son collects watches. He collects designer watches. But no, for 2 years I've been completely uninterested in what time of the day it is, except in the morning. I have to know, because I wake up at 4:30, and I'll wake up at 2:30 to pee and think it's 4:30 and get up and make coffee and start my day. So I have to have a clock near the bed so that I know when it is the actual, because I'll wake up every couple of hours during the night, and I have to know when is as you do, as a man my age will do.
I had a fake Tag Heuer that I bought in Patong back in 2000. I had that fake Tag Heuer watch for about 10 years. I used to wear it to parties and things, and people were very impressed. So I got my money's worth out of that one.
I have a fake Rolex that belongs to Roy Bott. Roy produced a movie based on one of my short stories called Necessary Things.
That was the payment?
No. I, like a prop man after the production, I gathered up the props and brought them home. And I brought home Roy's watch, Roy's fake Rolex. And I've still got it. And someday I swear I will return it to him.
Roy, if you're wondering.
Yeah, Roy, if you're wondering where your watch went.
Thai Mueang Beach will pinch it from you.
All right.
Thai political joke.
I have some replies. I asked questions of the Brain Trust last week, and I have some replies. I had asked, do they still put soda in a plastic bag? Do you still see that, right? And a lot of people wrote in to say that was a remnant of the era when all the soda was in glass bottles and had a deposit. And if you were going to take a glass bottle away from the store,
you're taking money away.
You had to pay the deposit, and they'd say, if you don't want to pay us a nickel, let us put it in a bag for you.
I remember that a long time ago.
Right. Now that soda comes in plastic and there's no deposit, you see that less and less, I guess. I think it's actually the plastic cups and straws that are taking over that niche. But someone did say that it's still common in the Philippines, that soda still comes in glasses and bottles in the Philippines, and you still see it a lot in the Philippines. And a few people wrote in to say, well, in my neighborhood in Bangsaen, or my neighborhood in Utayan, or wherever, in Utapao, or wherever, in our neighborhood, the little mom and pop stores, which I always call Nitnoy stores, the little Nitnoy stores have still sell it in a plastic bag. So it has not disappeared, but it is in the process of disappearing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bit like CDs and 8-track cartridges.
How
How are you going there?
I'm doing pretty well. Oh, everybody's favorite gang. I asked, what's your favorite in a Khao Gang restaurant, which is the restaurant where you get a plate of rice and then they've got 15 big aluminum pots, and you point
You mean
to one.
aluminium?
Yes, aluminum. And they'll scoop you onto your rice a bit of this stew and a bit of that Khao Gang. And everybody said Gang Masaman, which is the sweet, not too hot southern curry.
You don't see it that often.
There's one place that you'll see it here in town.
Masaman?
Gang Masaman, yeah. The one under
Okay.
the pedestrian overpass.
I love Masaman. Oh, okay. I know the one.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll go there.
Those ladies, those are the sweetest ladies in town. I love those ladies. I love to eat there. They still have Gang Masaman. There were a couple other suggestions that I didn't write down, but there were like 15 people who said Gang Masaman. That's my fave. Good to know. I don't know why it's good to know, but it is. You asked today, what is a piece of advice you would give a newbie?
Oh, that was on my list too.
Yeah.
So, yes.
On your live show, you asked.
Can I
Yes.
just backtrack?
Yes.
While you catch your breath? So, on today's program, I'll just go back a step further. I had this brilliant idea this morning. I thought, where am I going to do my live program? I know we've got my little beach house out the back, bamboo beach house, which you can rent on Airbnb. I thought I'll go and do it in there because nobody's in there, nice and cool, and it's quiet. Won't have the dog, I won't have the cat, won't have those
I know it's coming, yeah.
I won't have the bikers drop in.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, of course, the dog came and the cats came. And what are you doing here, Tim? And then I had these 2 fruit flies turn up, and I couldn't get rid of them. And I'm stuck there behind the microphone.
That was fun to watch. That was fun. Yeah.
I thought, this is the worst show. So I apologise for everybody for all those things. But I was asking the question, if you had to give one piece of advice to a newbie coming to Thailand, what would that be? I'm actually compiling these. I'm going to make a list. There it is. You can see I've been copying and pasting. And I'm going to post that on Phuket-Go.
All right.
So you've got some advice.
No, just one piece. Don't be too shy to carry an umbrella. In the sunny season, you want to stay out of the sun. I walk under an umbrella in the sunny season, and it's going to rain in the rainy season, so you're going to carry an umbrella. I keep 3 umbrellas by the front door, and I lose them all the time, so I'm constantly buying umbrellas. But an umbrella is your best friend, man. Stay out of the sun, and of course, you want to stay out of the rain. But don't be too shy. Don't think you can't walk around with an umbrella. I do all the time. That's my piece of advice.
Sure, I mean, it's a good advice, but
of course it is.
Who would feel embarrassed to carry an umbrella?
When I started doing it, I felt weird. I have never carried an umbrella in my life.
Were you worried that people thought you were doing a Mary Poppins impersonation or something?
It just felt weird. It was an accoutrement I wasn't used to.
Did it feel
it's
feminine?
Like I've started, a little bit, yes. Or newbie. It seemed to scream newbie, right? This guy's afraid of the sun. In point of fact, when you've been here a few years, you just instinctively avoid the sun. But it's the same with this, a shoulder bag. I've never carried a purse in my life, but now, because half of my pants don't have pockets, I carry the phone and the wallet in this thing and a mask. You got to have a mask now.
I always got.
And I had to get used to carrying this bag, and I'm used to it now. I love it.
I'm noting how well you're accessorizing with the matching color.
Yeah.
Although the patterns are clashing a bit.
Again, everything I own is what you can buy in the local shops on Turtle Beach, and this is the best shoulder bag I could find that. Oh, one of the shops in town on the main street. I don't remember offhand which one, but it was one of the shops on Main Street.
It is a bit of a treasure trove walking around that town. There are things that you can get, nothing that you actually want, but things that you go, oh my God, they actually sell that?
Yeah. what's amazing to me in Thai Mueang, and I suppose it's the same around Thailand, there's old stores that were like the local equivalent of a department store, and they've still got beautiful wood and glass shelves and display cases, but there hasn't been that kind of shopping in town for 20 years. So now the gates are closed and grandma sits out front with some mangoes on a card table, and that's what's being sold. But if you put your face to the grill and you look inside, there's a beautiful old department store in there, and some have old mannequins still standing around. Some that are still open have shirts and dresses that I'm sure were hanging on that wall. They're sun faded and they've been hanging on that wall for 20 years. That's something I think is fascinating about this town. I would love, if I had all the money in the world, if I won the lottery, I would buy one of those stores and open it back, polish the wood, clean the glass, and open it back up as a department store. I think that'd be great.
It's just one of those things that we're not seeing as much these days as we used to.
Brick and mortar stores,
There's something funny happening in the background, that the security guard walked past and they pointed at us, and now those staff over there are looking at us. I think we've got to move the car or something.
Oh, they've just never seen anybody as gorgeous. That's all. The pretty people don't come to golf here. No. What's that say? Oh,
that's your number
you were asking what year was Wizard of Oz this morning? 1939. 1939.
I said 1932.
Yeah, 1939, because Victor Fleming directed Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz in the same year, and they were released in the same year. Yeah, Victor Fleming. Anybody know that name?
Did
Victor Fleming. Yeah.
Ever work again?
Oh yeah. Oh, he's got like 200 movies to his credit. He directed was it Wings? The very first movie to ever win an Academy Award was called Wings. And Victor Fleming had 200 aircraft in the sky, 100 camera aircraft, and 100 stunt cameras. It was about air races in World War I. So these were all biplanes and triplanes flying around over Southern California making this movie. And all the cameramen had to dress in uniform, and they put fake guns over the camera lenses, because if you got caught in the corner of a frame, he wanted you to look like the gunner on a warship. So Victor Fleming, huge guy in Hollywood. Victor Fleming slapped Judy Garland on the set of
Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz? Yeah, Wizard of Oz. Slapped her. 16-year-old girl on the set in front of 100 witnesses. Did he get charged with assault? No, because that's how Hollywood worked in those days. He was the director, she was an actress, she wasn't doing what he wanted her to do, so he smacked her. Victor Fleming. Two of the best movies ever made in Hollywood, made them both in the same year, and you didn't know his name.
Was I right in saying that Wizard of Oz was one of the first colour movies? Because it had the transition into colour.
I don't know if it was one of the first colour movies, but that's certainly a very dramatic moment in the movie. I'm trying to think. There was a movie Disney had done, Song of the South, where it's got cartoon characters with live action actors. And that was the first time.
Which year was that?
I don't remember.
That was
that's
Disney
zippity doo dah, zippity.
Yeah.
You'll never ever see it now because it is very politically incorrect. But that technology that led to eventually things like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Snow White was
Snow White
in color.
So animated movies were in color. I don't know about live action movies, but 1939 was a terrific year for Hollywood.
Oh, I remember it well. They keep looking at us. I'm sure we've done something wrong.
Yeah, probably.
No?
I do things wrong all day long, every day.
Just staring at us.
Steve got it wrong. This will be in Steve got it wrong segment next week.
We do have to move the car. So we'll do one more thing and then I'll move the car.
Is that what? How did they do this?
Yes, they did that.
Oh, okay. All right. Last thing I want to say is, I am a guest here. I will always behave like a guest here. You had that conversation on your live show. It costs me nothing to act like a guest, and it gets me all sorts of benefits. So whether or not I am a guest here, by definition, I will always act like a guest, including stopping this to go move the car right now.
Well, I'd like to remind you about being a guest when you come to Eurovision next year.
What did I not do? Did I not?
Oh, well, I mean, what happens at Eurovision stays at Eurovision. So,
All right.
we have to go and move the car. Steve, thank you very much.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it every single time.
So, we've got all that off our mind. We have to go and move the car. Don't forget to subscribe to TNT. You can subscribe to Steve's channel because I've got a funny feeling he'll come back in the future doing something. You're taking your mic off already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want them to see we're on our way.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.